And Irfan bhai, as today we are going to talk a bit about colonialization in cricket. How do you see the contemporary cricket? Is it different from what the colonials invented it? As it's become more and more commercial now. How do you see it?
Most certainly, it has been a perpetual and punctual argument against the playing of cricket for most of the times that cricket in itself is a colonial legacy.
And Irfan bhai, as we are talking about colonial nature of cricket, how do you think there has become a change in cricket? Because if you see now, the cricket is in the hand of Asians, particularly the Indians, and English used to treat it as quite a gentleman's game, and it was considered as the game of the elite. How do you see the shift towards the Asians having the power towards cricket now?
That's a very, very good question. The thing is that I believe that if you try to say that it is the democratization of the game.
And lastly, obviously, before we close this video, Irfan bhai, you also wanted to talk about terrorism as well, along with colonization. And there was also an incident which happened in Pakistan. I think there was a fake blast or something a couple of years ago when New Zealand team left at the brink of toss. And after that, even Australia and England cancelled their tours to Pakistan, I think, doing that to do. So how do you see this?
So cricket security has often been weaponized in order to make nations subservient to it.
So there are lots of discussions happening in sport, and Irfanullah bhai is with us today. How are you, Irfan bhai?
I'm fine, thank you.
And Irfan bhai, as today we are going to talk a bit about colonialization in cricket. How do you see the contemporary cricket? Is it different from what the colonials invented it? As it's become more and more commercial now. How do you see it?
Most certainly, it has been a perpetual and punctual argument against the playing of cricket for most of the times that cricket in itself is a colonial legacy that must be shed off. For instance, people do propose it. I guess it is a common refrain for those who do not want to play it. Yet certainly cricket is being perceived as a colonial legacy. If you move towards regionalism, if you try to demarcate human civilization along the lines of states, if you say that this is our state, this is another state, then most certainly it is a colonial game, because it was invented by someone who did not belong to the same political entity which we call country, same political entity or same country that we belong to. So colonial is something that was forced upon us, right? Cricket was the concomitance, or it was the accompaniment or the friend of the British who came to British Indian subcontinent. So I believe that cricket is certainly, we cannot deny the legacy of it. It certainly originated at the English hands, and the continental Europe itself is the place of birth. But with the passage of time, we have seen how the cricket has been advancing. You said about the contemporary legacy. There in English literature, there is a concept of reverse colonization. It means that the things that were done to you might be done by you towards those who did that to you, right? So reverse colonization is the fact that you yourself, you see that England might not be able or might not be consistent with the contemporary standards established by the Asians in cricket. You say the best player is Virat Kohli, Babar Azam. So these players, you might not be able to name English players in the top 10 or 20 if you are considering the Asians, right? So top 2 or 3 would always be the Asian players.
And England only won World Cup, that too by cheating this year.
This is the concern. So why something that is originating there might not be something that they earn it. So this is one of the things, the meritocracy of the cricket. Cricket is not something that can be assumed as genetically or transferred or an ancestral contribution towards you, because when you are bequeathed something, आप अपनी family में हैं, and your father leaves some heritage to you, you belong to it, you are an unquestionable and unqualified candidate for it,
and you are the owner.
You are the owner of it. But cricket being itself is a meritocratic game. They invented it, they could not retain it. The fact being that cricket is a very athletic game, it entails the stamina of which I believe the harsher conditions of our areas can be a suitable alternative. You can say that in African players, African continent is full of best players. Chris Gayle is one of the iconic players.
No doubt.
So it means that the stamina that originates there, basketball for instance, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, these were all racially black people. That meant that the sports that entails athleticism and not only cerebral competencies, mental abilities. So those people living in the harsher conditions, because we see in Pakistan, it is not a stereotype, but we see that the people belonging to northern areas, Chitral and everywhere, they play very good football, right? Because they have very good stamina. They have been living in the climates that are harsher than those of the Punjab. The person living here might be habituated towards air conditioning, while those who might be able to run better. So McFarland, USA, there is a film of McFarland, USA. McFarland is a town in California, if I am not wrong, and there are Mexicans living there. So they choose those Mexicans who go and pick cotton and do other things because they are so able and potent in their work that they are able to excel it. So the conclusion is that if a game offers merit, then regardless of who originated it and regardless of from whom it is coming, it means that it is going to provide a meritocratic pedestal for everyone to proceed forward.
And Irfan bhai, as we are talking about colonial nature of cricket, how do you think there has become a change in cricket? Because if you see now, the cricket is in the hand of Asians, particularly the Indians, and English used to treat it as quite a gentleman's game, and it was considered as the game of the elite. How do you see the shift towards the Asians having the power towards cricket now?
That's a very, very good question. The thing is that I believe that if you try to say that it is the democratization of the game, cricket, so try to analyze. If you go retrospectively and historically, 100 years ago, cricket was indeed a gentleman's game. And gentleman here does not mean a person who is sitting in a villa is going to play. For instance, golf is a gentleman's game right now, or horse riding is a gentleman's game. These are, or the polo itself. So these are the games, those games whose equipments become restricted and restrained, or they become a boundary wall for others to join. For instance, you cannot go for polo without horse, right? And horse is inaccessible for those who are underprivileged. Well, cricket in itself offers a very lenient path towards it. If you have a small bat, Akib, and you will be able to play cricket. Gully cricket is one of the biggest initiatives that we have invented, is that the playing of cricket with the least available thing. Anything that is able to hit is provided as a bat. Anything that is able to roll, the circular ability of the thing and that nature is allowed to play cricket. So when you democratize a game by lowering or decelerating the financial inhibitions or the financial obstacles towards its obtainment, then it ultimately and inevitably makes it a democratic game. So I believe that from a gentleman's game, it is certainly a gentleman's game. Everyone with a bat is a gentleman, I believe. The definition of gentleman has been changed, but the cricket that was used as a symbol of elite power is not being used right now because it is in the hands of other people. If you provide golf grounds for everyone, if you provide polo grounds for everyone, if you provide horses for everyone, I believe there would be no game which can be called a gentleman's game. Donald Trump plays a game because he can afford the luxuries for it. You provide grounds, everyone will be able to play this game. So cricket, the inexpensive or the cheap nature of the materials that are used, the bat, ball and wickets, यहाँ पर कुर्सी वो देखिए पीछे भी क्रिकेट हो रही है किस तरह हो रही है people do not need any protective
proper ground of cricket.
Proper
standing in a cricket.
So we are standing in a cricket pitch. Everyone can play cricket without being resorting towards a financially turbulent atmosphere and capital that would make them able to. So anyone can qualify for that game. That makes cricket a gentleman's game, but a gentleman's game that has been democratized.
And Irfan bhai, as you're obviously saying that England ruled the world, and England obviously played a couple of times, but why do other nations still hate England as a cricketing body? They always want England to lose, particularly the Asians. Is it because of the colonization and all of this aspect that people want England to lose mainly?
The past seldom vaporizes. The thing is that we have been constantly fed for the right thing. So there is something wrong and something right. Those who forget the history forgets them. If you try to burden off and try to disassociate yourself from the colonial legacy, that means that you are becoming oblivious to a harsher reality that was the reason of your contemporary lack of prosperity. See, colonialism ate into the profits or the productivity or the ability to proceed forward for many Asian nations, and this is something acknowledged proudly by the continental Europe. So we cannot forget that. But making it an impactful thing and observation कि जी अब cricket हो रही है इंग्लैंड के खिलाफ, so we start hitting the team, that might be wrong of the for the cultural reason. The reason being, मुझे बताएं American team में कितने Americans खेल रहे हैं? Pure Americans who are white,
very less.
See,
Pakistanis, Indians.
This is the thing. So if you think that citizenship is the basis of making a person eligible for representation of their statehood, then certainly you're allowed to hate a country if they're playing against you. But आप देखिए वहां पे कि आपकी क्या नाम है आपकी जो इंग्लिश प्लेयर है जिनकी डैडी है माशाल्लाह
Moeen Ali.
Moeen Ali. So
retired recently.
So if you want to go for the religion, you can say कि religiously associated तो आपके players भी वहां पे.
They have two players, Moeen Ali and Adil Rashid sir.
So this is the thing, when there is globalization and every nation, so we are living in a global village. Global village भला क्यों कहा जाता है? मुझे बताइए global city क्यों नहीं कहा जाता? Because village is something where affinity is at a crescendo. लोग आपस में बहुत relationally approximate होते हैं, करीब होते हैं. So it means कि every country right now can become the part of another country. You are a global citizen आके. You are not the citizen of Pakistan. At the same time, you are the ambassador of Pakistan, but you are the ambassador of the world as well. आज अगर कोई इंडियन आके आपसे मुल्क में बात करेगा दुनिया में, तो you do not need to go for the president of any country. He can come to you as well. So the thing is that every country, right? You are not forced to forget the colonial legacy, but you know that colonialism has been vaporized right now. America, England, every nation. आप जो सिख आपको मिलते हैं कनाडा में. What does it mean? तो वो तो जगह सारों की होगी ना. It means in a modern global world, the ultimate solution is to accept with bold heart, compete on merit. If you are able to proceed, अच्छी बात है. नई तरह से PSL में मुझे सारे पाकिस्तानी प्लेयर होते हैं. No, so it means that you are going to hate
Indies, England or
who are you going to hate? So अगर कोई भी इंग्लैंड का प्लेयर किसी भी PSL की टीम में तो you are going to hate it. No, so no hate should be there. Yet you should never forget how the past was there. So athleticism should not be mixed with the history lessons. But fun spoil ho jata hai, I believe.
And lastly, obviously, before we close it, Irfan bhai also wanted to talk about terrorism as well, along with colonization. And there was also an incident which happened in Pakistan. I think there was a fake blast or something a couple of years ago when New Zealand team left at the brink of toss, and after that, even Australia and England cancelled their tours to Pakistan. I think doing that to do. So how do you see this?
So cricket security has often been weaponized in order to make nations subservient to it, right? आज आपको पता है there is no need for proper capital of military. आपको मुझे पता है फिनलैंड, स्वीडन आपको कैसे मुल्क लगते हैं?
Not the top countries.
They are top countries, right? How? क्या वो मिलिट्री उनकी अच्छी है? नहीं. Because they have soft capital. Soft capital means they would be at the first in human development.
They are not brutal or anything like
yes,
that.
They would be first at human development index, least criminal state, best prisons, best rehabilitation centers, best hospitals, good public. So this means that there is a soft capital that generates a political magnetism for countries to proceed towards it. So that soft capital, वो उसी की गेम है सारी. So India is a country who often says Pakistan is the epicenter of terrorism. ठीक कहती है क्योंकि एपिसेंटर का मतलब होता है जहां पे कोई चीज हो रही हो, उसके नीचे होता है हाइपोसेंटर जहां से वो चीज ओरिजिनेट हो रही है. सो इंडिया इज द हाइपोसेंटर, तो हम एपिसेंटर बन जाते हैं. सो ओरिजिनेट वहां से होती है. सो इंडिया और अदर कंट्रीज माइट ट्राई टू टार्निश द रेपुटेशन ऑफ पाकिस्तान इन इटसेल्फ. कि जी क्यों, देखिए कंपटीशन है ना, सिविल सर्विसेज की अगर आप तैयारी कर रहे हैं, यू विल नॉट वांट कि आपके साथ वाला दोस्त भी अच्छा पढ़े, because you know at the end of the day it is a competitive examination.
You don't want him to succeed and lose.
If you want to, you would lose your seat. That is the opportunity cost. अगर आपने अपने लिए अलग लड़ना वो अलग चीज है, but when things get competitive, the stakes get higher, the opportunity cost increases, and the people resort towards the violent means. That's why there are efforts to implant and impersonate कि पाकिस्तान के साथ मसला हो गया, सिक्योरिटी खराब है, ये वो, in order to tarnish the credibility and damage the reputational accuracy of the state. और जिसकी वजह से क्रिकेट कम होगा और उसके बाद सॉफ्ट कैपिटल डिक्रीज होगा, तो स्टेट जितनी मर्जी पावरफुल हो वो उसकी रैंकिंग डिक्रीज हो जाएगी. ये रीजन है, आपको पता है पॉलिटिकल जो मैशिनेशंस पीछे चलती रहती है, स्ट्रेटजीम्स होते हैं.
But Irfan bhai, do you think like obviously now India is the superpower of cricket? Is that bad for the game? Because we are seeing is that they are showing some brutality towards cricket. They're trying to influence in World Cups and all of those things. They have the IPL, the powerful league in the world. I think the English people are saying that they used to run cricket better than the Indians. So how do you see that England's with reduction of England's influence now?
I believe that if there is a system, if English people are saying, England is saying that they used to run it better than them, the question is that were they fair for all the time? They were not fair.
They did not spread the cricket.
This is the thing. It was restrained to being a gentleman's game. Now if they are
people in suits watching them.
Yeah, this is the thing.
It's still happening in England.
Now if it is becoming democratized, that now they can inquisition and impugn upon the credibility.
The public is watching cricket now.
This is the thing. So अगर इंडिया उस पोजीशन पे है that it is the athletic hegemon of cricket because of the political authority behind it, तो I believe there is nothing wrong in it, because अगर वहाँ पे it has come from a proper channel, right? जबरदस्ती तो कोई नहीं हेडक्वार्टर में घुस गए, इजाजत से गए, लेकिन the only concern is that it should not abuse its authority. India कहीं पहुंच रहा है, हमें इसमें कोई मसला नहीं. India is the fourth biggest economy in the world. We do not have any concern with it. But if India is not going to work properly upon the principles of merit,
We will criticize.
we certainly have to criticize because we are the part of it. अगर क्रिकेट अच्छा अगर इंडिया के अंदर स्पेसिफिक एक गेम हो रही है तो इंडिया खुद करता है, डू व्हाटएवर दे वांट टू. बट इफ यू आर गोइंग टू इंक्लूड अदर प्लेयर्स, हमारे साथ खेल रहे हैं, आप हमारे साथ खेलेंगे नहीं, आपको दुबई वेन्यू पे जाना है, ये वो, so that makes you a bad person to sit upon the helm and adjudicate upon it.
But they are silencing their people. No?
This is the concern.
Media in India is silent.
This is the situation throughout the world. So when you speak in contradiction to the status quo, the silence comes. तो ये वैसे इसमें आप परेशान होने वाली बात नहीं है, दुनिया में हमेशा ऐसा हुआ. Historically, it is relevant that in order to maintain the hegemonic stability theory, political science.
Yeah,
Let's
hegemony,
say, yeah, they say that if there has to be a hegemon, if there has to be stability of power, there has to be a hegemon.
That is dominance of one over another.
Dominance of one over another. So dominance of one, not two. So hegemony often makes people go against the criticizer. So if I believe that dissent is being quashed in India, it is not right, it is questionable, and that makes it a disputable authority of India, yet it is just an empirical reality and an eventual conclusion of every hegemon in this world.
Irfan bhai, thank you so much for your time, and it was a great discussion.
Thank you so
We'll
much.
try to have you another video, and we try to bring more interesting topics through this YouTube channel. So I guess that's it for this video. Like and subscribe to Sports Here for more content. Ladies and gentlemen, goodbye from me and Irfan bhai. Say take it to yourself and
Allah.